Марк Твейн, The Prince and the Pauper. Принц и нищий. Страница 48. With the back of his hand, тыльной стороной ладони. Who it was that you laid down with your stick? Кого ты уложил своей дубинкой? I do not care. Мне все равно. If you want to save your neck, если хочешь сохранить свою жизнь. Was it possible that the boy was really not her son? She decided to give him a trial. She thought, this trial will show me whether he is my son or not. When Tom was suddenly awakened or was frightened by something, he always covered his eyes with the back of his hand. She lit her candle and came up softly to the sleeping boy. Then suddenly she brought the candle close to his face and struck the floor near his ear with her hand. The boy's eyes opened at once and he looked around in surprise, but he did not cover his eyes. The poor woman did not know what to do. She went up to the boy several times and repeated the trial. The boy woke up and looked around in fear each time, but he did not cover his eyes with his hand. At last she went to bed and fell asleep in tears. The prince woke up from a heavy sleep because somebody was knocking at the door. Who is there? What do you want? Said John Canty. A voice answered, do you know who it was that you laid down with your stick? No, John Canty said, I do not know and I do not care. Oh, you do not care, do you? The voice said. If you want to save your neck, John Canty, you must hurry and run away. In honor of the Prince of Wales, в честь принца Уэльского, Эдвард took his chance. Эдуард решил рискнуть. Father Andrew, John Canty cried out, I'm lost. He woke his family up and commanded, get up at once and run away. If you stay where you are at lost. Very quickly the family gathered up their few things, and 5 minutes later they were running along the dark street to save their lives. John Canty held the prince by the hand and hurried him away from the house. Forget our name, you mad fool. I must take a new name now. Then he turned to the family. If we lose one another, let us meet at London Bridge. Then we shall walk on together. As they were walking along the dark streets, the prince thought, I must run away from him. This is my chance. I must use it. Soon they were near London Bridge. It was illuminated. They found themselves among singing, dancing, and shouting people. Everybody wanted to watch the illumination in honor of the Prince of Wales. Edward took his chance, put his hand out of John Canty's, and ran. He took the first turning on the left, then another turning on the right. He ran and ran and ran until he found himself near his father's palace. Now I can tell the gods who I am, and everything will be well, and I shall hang this little pauper who has taken my place in the palace. When you are in trouble, когда ты попадешь в беду, the sword at his side, шпага, болтавшаяся у него на боку, with mocking, насмешками. Will it be obeyed? Будет ли он приказ исполнен? Tower, ранее тюрьма, где содержались коронованные и другие знатные преступники, ныне арсенал и музей средневекового оружия и орудий пытки. He told the guard to open the gates to him because he was the Prince of Wales. Nobody believed him, of course, and the crowd near the palace laughed at him. When he began to cry, the people liked it very much. They mocked him, pulled and pushed him, but he repeated again and again, "I am the Prince of Wales." Suddenly he heard a voice. "It is all the same to me whether you are the prince or not. I like you because you are a brave lad. I shall be your friend. You must know that Miles Hendon can be a real friend. I shall not allow anybody to mock at you, and I shall always help you when you are in trouble." The speaker was a tall, strong man. His clothes were made of rich material, but looked very old. The sword at his side was also very old. The crowd answered his words with mocking and laughter. A man cried, "Let us drag him and the lad to the river." Another man pulled the prince by the arm, but the tall young man pulled out his sword, and the man went down to the ground at once. The next moment several voices shouted, "Kill the dog! Kill him! Kill him!" They were going to attack the brave young man who stood with his back to the wall, giving blows to the right and to the left. Suddenly a voice shouted, "Wait for the king's messenger." The crowd turned away from Miles Hendon. He caught the prince in his arms, and soon they were far away from danger. At that time Tom Canty was sailing down the Thames on the royal barge. The Princess Elizabeth and Lady Jane Grey were sailing with him. Suddenly the king's messenger appeared on the barge. Everybody stopped talking and looked at him in surprise. He came up to Tom and said loudly, "The king is dead." All the people who were there fell on their knees before Tom and shouted, "Long live the king! Long live Edward, King of England!" Suddenly an idea came to Tom's head. He said in a low tone at Hertford's ear, "Tell me the truth. If I give a command which only a king can give, will it be obeyed? Can any man rise and say no?" "Your Majesty, nobody can say no to your command. You are the king. Your word is law." "Then," said Tom, "let the king's law be law of mercy. From this day, let the king's law never more be law of blood. Get up from your knees and hurry to the Tower to tell the Duke of Norfolk that he will not die." Tom's words were heard by the people who stood nearby. When Hertford was leaving, there was another shout. "The kingdom of blood is over. Long live Edward, King of England!"